Disclaimer. The following fic is intended for mature audiences, for it contains mentions of death, house fraud, Jojo references, and more of my terrible Spanish woman impression. If any of that offends you, viewer discretion is advised. Mari Suzuki's Overly Busy Afterlife, by Shard of Hope. Chapter 2. Day 1, Part 1.
It was bright and sunny when Geld decided to make a stand. He was prepared to do anything to help his brother from another mother, and he meant anything. He had written his last will and testament, leaving all of his orange Joe to Hero if he perished. He was currently wearing 17 rosaries around his neck, each step making him clack together loudly and the pinch in his hair. And he may have also gone to the church and filled a squirt gun with water from the bathroom. It was holy water by association, right? He was ready to fight the wizard-slash-cat-slash-ghost-slash-wizard-cat-ghost. He was so ready! He had been psyching himself outside of Sunny's house for the past 10 minutes. He wasn't scared at all. He was just observing the scene. The grass was in surprisingly good shape. Looks like there would have been a landscaping sign right next to this for sale sign. Huh. That looked much older and vandalized. That's odd. Isn't housing in Faraway kinda sought after? Oh, yeah, this is the house for sale. I'm the son of the owner. I just figured I should warn you.
Mari was concerned, to say the least. When they found out about the potential buyers from the paperwork their mother had accidentally shipped home, Mari panicked. However, Sunny said he could cover it. She had to trust him, but the script he was reading inspired little confidence.
Yeah, there was 40 child sacrifices here in the 60s. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I figured you should know. Yeah, just look up farawaydevilhouse.com. I'll hold. Mari just stared at her brother as he gave her a thumbs up. Oh, you're back. Oh, it was no trouble. I figured you should know about the history. You have yourselves a nice day now. Goodbye. Sunny hung up as his form slumped. He was sweating like he had ran a marathon and looked exhausted. He flopped on his couch, having used his social battery for a month at least. Sunny? That never happened. She got a nod as he looked at her. Did you create a fake website saying our house was a part of a satanic cult in the 60s? Another nod. I have never been prouder of you in my entire life. Let me see it. He shrugged it off. He had to do this before he lost his nerve. He had his holy symbols, holy water, 3 cans of orange Joe in his pocket, and his light of Skechers. It was now or never, and he was ready to do this. He walked up, looking out for any curses or anything he could step on, and he made it to the door. Okay, there was a doorbell, but the wizard would expect that. It was obvious. He got up early to avoid the sleeping wizard, so quietly, he began to violently pound on the door. Sunny! I've come to save you from the wizard of Kuchara Demata! You don't have to live in fear! He screamed to the door as he kept on pounding away, with all the subtlety of a break through a plate glass window and all the tact of a fart at a night's dinner party. He continued. I'll save you, buddy! And we can hang out and do stuff! I don't know, I sort of assumed that I'd be turned inside out by unholy magic or a floating cat by now! He didn't care if everyone thought he was insane. He would save the cute boy. Huh, that's new. Forget it. Save Sunny now, get Awakening later. Oh, it was way too fucking early for this. Sunny glared at his clock, showing that it was 7 a.m. Sure, he was an earlier riser than Mari, but he didn't want to be up at this ungodly hour. She was still in her weird wisp form that she had when she was sleeping. There was no waking her when she was like that. The pounding at the door was crazy loud. He grumbled as he got dressed. If he were to answer the door, he would dress nice. Mari said it was good to leave a lasting first impression, so when he screamed at the solicitor to fuck off with a steak knife, he would assume he was grumpy and not a serial killer. Flawless logic. He went down the stairs, grabbing the steak knife from the block. He shivered a bit, feeling an etched symbol in the handle. Of course he picked this one, but then again, it would be better to use this one. The pounding was getting louder and screaming something about wizards? He was starting to get a headache from the pounding. He threw open the door. Hurry, Sonny, before the words died in Kel's throat. Before him was Sonny, and he was floored. He wasn't much taller. Hell, Kel had a good half foot on him now. His brown eyes widened in surprise, his porcelain skin almost glowed in the exposed sunlight, and his hair shined. He was dressed to impress too, his black shoes and button shirt fresh pressed, his sweater vest having a small cat pin near the chest. He looked nice. Very nice. Kel was too busy trying to figure out why his mouth was so dry and his face so warm. He didn't notice Sonny shoving the knife into his pocket. At the same moment, Sonny was close to having a mental breakdown. Here was Kel after 4 years and all of his goofy glory. And he was hot. So very hot. He towered over Sonny now. They wouldn't be surprised if he were a full 6 foot now. His skin was rich, so rich, dark and smooth. His hair almost fell over his beaming eyes. His face was a touch darker now, but he didn't notice that he was wearing a uniform that showed off his toned athletic physique. It was a bit hard to overlook the dozen crosses on his neck, nor the water gun. Both just stared for a moment before Kel broke the silence. Oh, thank God you're safe, Sonny! Before he was brought into a bone-crushing hug, being lifted off of his feet. Is the wizard asleep? Have they kept you here for 4 years? At least he turned on his inside voice for that bit, but not enough to not hurt Sonny's ears for the close contact. And what the hell was he talking about Oh. Oh no. He must have seen Mari doing something at some point. Oh God. They could start figuring things out, asking bad questions. Okay. No need to panic. Mari has covered for you before, and now it's your turn to do the same for her. No, Kel. 2 of those years for grief counseling. I was a bit of a mess, and I just couldn't leave the house. Kel deflated at this. Maybe he was being a bit silly. No, they've kept me here for 2 more years because of the satanic ritual. Wait, what? Sonny placed his hands on Kel's shoulder, preparing to lie his ass off to this poor, stupid boy. He helped Kel was still the one he remembered that was a lovable but gullible dumbass. 2 years ago, I tried to bring Mari back. I drew the circle with red paint. I lit the candles. I didn't want to sacrifice a goat or something, so I had to make do with some fish. Kel was enthralled. Good, keep going. But I made a mistake. I invoked the wrath of a demon who possessed my... cat? Dark Lord Miwu has kept me here, providing belly rubs and fancy feasts to her for all my mortal days, lest I be cast into the pits of hell. That is when the wizard Slagathar appeared. They had sensed a disturbance to the fabric of reality and come to fight my feline master. They are invisible to me, but they fight, and I have been stuck in the middle of it for 2 years. I fear for my life, Kel. I have to hide under the bed to avoid their arcane aggression, their magical melee. They will not stop until the other is dead, and a magical demonic wall prevents my egress. Also, it's really nice to see you again. That last part was said with a slight flush. It was nice to see him again. It was almost surprising how 4 years of lonely can hit a guy, as well as 4 years of minimal speaking. His throat already feeling scratchy. Holy shit, I knew it! I saw that can float and she dunked Hector into a trash can! Kel pumped his fist as Sonny stared at him. Mari was not as subtle as he thought she was. I even saw that fireball yesterday! Oh, wait, I should be quiet. Sonny nodded and motioned for him to lead in. They battled all night and are recovering. If you get holy water, I should be able to leave for a while. That should distract him long enough so he could go drink some coffee and wake up properly. However, he was still with a squirt gun to the face and yank on his wrist as he sputtered. Oh, right in his eyes. Way ahead of you. I got this at the church, and look, you're outside. Want to hang out today? Away from the eyes of your dark, fluffy overlord? How was he going to tell him that he didn't deserve a social life after the incident? How they would be better off forgetting him? Besides, Mari would freak out if she woke up and he wasn't there, but Kel looked like an eager dog, happy to see his long-gone master. He couldn't say no to that face as he sighed.
Sure. Any ideas?
Kel handed over one of the rosaries, tying it to Sunny's wrist. There! Mom said that can ward off evil spirits. And one more for good measure. Sunny was shot in the face with the water again. Oh, ew, it got in his mouth. Cut that! And again. This time with Kel laughing. And that one was for me. You act like a cat with water, Sunny D. He wondered if Basil still had some extra jump rope lying around. At least he was offered an orange bandana to wipe his face with. He would be spared for now. Kel was still laughing until it died in his throat. Sunny looked up, following his eyes to the top of the stairs. Miu was staring daggers at them. All the commotion must have roused her from her beauty sleep. To be fair, even a normal cat glare does look like demonic fury. Sunny leaned in close on his tiptoes. On 3. Run like your soul depends on it. The deadpan tone made the tan boy go rigid. Perfect. 3, 2... Sunny bolted without him. He was to the sidewalk before Kel let out a panicked yell. Don't let it get me, Sunny! An orange blur flew past Sunny as he did his best to keep up. His small, malnourished body was not helping him. Was running always this hard? He was too winded to react when Kel, screaming the entire time, picked up the pale boy in a bridle carry and sprinted down the street, his scream uninterrupted and unending as it faded away from the block, shedding more and more of his religious and borrowed protections as he sped away, bouncing off of his neck and onto the sidewalk. Miss Hernandez just pinched the bridge of her nose as she watched her son display the Doppler effect with his girly screaming. Something was wrong with that boy. Then again, she couldn't be too mad. Kel had managed to reunite with Sunny. That boy looked way too thin, and force-feed Sunny until he looked less like a scarecrow. She pondered this until he noticed the glint of glass. Wait, are those my nice rosaries? Kel! Kel! For the love of God, I'm getting dizzy! Sunny enjoyed being carried at first. The feeling of his warm skin, the smell of sweat and orange Joe, it did his gay heart so much good. But they had been running around the fountain of the plaza uninterrupted for 10 solid minutes, and Sunny was starting to feel his stomach twist the nausea from the NASCAR level of left turns he was being assaulted with. Oh, really? Sorry, I thought the whole battle screech was keeping the demons away. Kel looked down in his arms. He was so light. He hardly noticed his weight, and that pale pink scars that lined his arms worried Kel. Sunny's eyes were almost spinning as they came to a sudden stop. Oh, thank the dark cat gods. It didn't take much longer for Sunny to notice the intense looks he was getting from Kel. Seeing the gears of his head turn was a rare sight. That often came to amusing results. But this time, he was frowning. He didn't like seeing Kel frown. At all. I'm fine, Kel. Besides, I should be thanking you. You did save me from my fuzzy, soft demise. I am free to roam. That broke him out of his stupor, and he gave that grin that just made Sunny's day. If people compared Sunny to a cat, then Kel was a golden retriever. A big, beautiful specimen with a zest for life and a potato battery for a brain. But he loved him all the same. No, you just met him after being shut up for years. Sunny was not that desperate for physical affection. This was disproven as he was put back onto his feet. He could feel the needy whine bubbling up in him as he was left with no more contact, but he squashed it. His deadpan returning and some red on his ears, Kel just laughed. Aw, thanks, Sunny. Anyways, our first stop should be hobbies. Hero's coming back into town and I could use your help to get him a gift. This was amazing. It had been forever since he'd been in there. The store was exactly how he remembered it. A sense of nostalgia bubbled up in his chest. Things didn't change that much. Ooh, new Captain Spaceboy! Sunny, have you been keeping up? I know Mutanar's gonna win his hand in marriage in the Battle of the Clones. Nah, Roboheart all the way. She already knows how to love so deeply. There's no way you can prove to me otherwise that she's not the one. Kel's eyes lit up as much as a smile. Dude, you're current? How? You never leave the house! Kel was over the moon. None of his basketball friends wanted to talk about this kind of nerd stuff. Just more proof that Sunny was his best friend. Oh, you can read the comics for free online if you know where to look. Kel was visibly vibrating now. What? How? Never mind, we need to talk Space Boys. There is so much to discuss. And as soon as they're out of the store with their new purchase, the new cookbook being held by Kel as they wandered outside. Oh, go sit down, Sunny. I gotta go do something real quick. Sunny grumbled as he sat down. First, he made him use his money for his crippling MMO addiction to buy that cookbook, and now he was left here under the sun. He was gonna be a hot dog if Kel took that long. What was a ridiculously cute boy like him to do but wait? Well, average at best, he corrected. Mars said he was going to be a handsome young man, but then again, she was literally a dead lady, and his sister, so she was a filthy liar. He was a bit stuffy in his clothes style, too. He felt uncomfortable in his clothes after an hour in the outside world. Where could he get basketball shorts and a women-sized hero at this hour? His eternal monologue was interrupted by Kel flopping down on the bench holding a box. What kind of box was that flat or that colorful? His embarrassment only grew when he realized, as Kel opened it, he really forgot what a pizza box was. You should really go out more. I think you might have skipped breakfast, so I got you some pizza. Sunny just stared at him. It was 9 a.m. Who the hell was gonna eat pizza at 9 a.m. and... Oh, Kel was already eating a slice.
Oh, sorry. We'll give you the first slice.
He muttered before he swallowed. But I'm hungry too. Sunny knew that this man was capable of devouring the entire thing on his own. Besides, he wasn't that hungry, so he held up his hand. But Kel's grin was just stayed in place, pizza sauce on his face. Sunny? You are going to eat this pizza with me. Again, he shook his head. Kel's face got closer. There was a glint in his eyes that sent a shiver down his spine. I don't think you understand, Sunny. You're going to eat some of this pizza. Sunny was trying not to stare at him or flush. Kel had never been this assertive. He shook his head again, more as an afterthought than any real denial. Kel just got closer as he sat the pizza box aside for a second. Sunny, that wasn't a request. Faster than he could see, he was forcibly grabbed and brought into Kel's lap. The arm around his waist may as well have been iron as he squirmed in its grip. He was like a child trying to get away from his father, and it was just as embarrassing to be treated like a child. What had he done to deserve this? Besides the obvious. Sunny? How often have you been eating? That was not something he wanted to talk about today. Why was he asking that? He felt his breath hitch. He didn't answer. If he stayed quiet and looked away, Kel wouldn't know. Honestly, the thought of disappointing him hurt him more than his own malnutrition did. That was until he was flipped around, suddenly straddling Kel. His face was even mere inches away. Sunny, how long has it been since you ate? He couldn't look away from those brown puppy eyes. 2 days? Kel didn't blow up. He didn't look sad. He looked more determined more than anything. Okay then. Sunny's head spun as he was spun back around, and a slice of pizza was placed in front of him. You're gonna eat 2 slices, and we're not going anywhere until you do. Oh God, he was serious. He tried wiggling, but his grip was so right. Besides, Kel was warm. He just puffed and he took a bite. Oh my God, it was heaven. He had forgotten food could taste good. You know I can feed myself, you know. It didn't keep him from accepting another bite of the pizza. You sure about that? For the fact that I can manhandle you like this says otherwise. Sunny grumbled, but he kept eating. Kel allowed his smile to flicker, not under those watchful brown eyes. Sunny was absurdly malnourished, covered in scars on his arms, and he had not left his house for 4 years. Sure, wizards and demon cats didn't help, but damn, he had seen better days. Kel felt in some way he was responsible, though. After Mari's service, he'd gotten caught up in his own brother's depressive spiral that, now that he thought about it, he didn't focus on many others beside that. His basketball buddies and... well, no more. He was gonna help. He knew enough about nutrition and from the coach to help. Besides, he was learning about sports medicine. Coach says, it's good to have a backup plan in case your knee blows out and you get stuck here for 40 years, forever, no escape! Man, Coach was a funny guy. But as Sonny ate another slice of the pizza, his eyes were lighting up. Kel just put that thought to the side. Sure, he wasn't a doctor or anything, but Hero was, and he was gonna be here in a day. He would know what to do about him. And see about those scars. Surely this was being caught in the battles of the feline and freaky magic people. Yep, the other thoughts hurt him too much to even consider. Hey, did you get something to drink? Sonny interrupted him before his brain could be heated into the bad place, patent pending. He had thought of that, but... crap. Sorry, Sonny. I may have messed up in the excitement. Letting Sonny go out of his grip for a moment, he reached into a plastic bag and pulled out a 2-liter of Orange Joe. You like tasty soda, right? Sonny took the opportunity to hop out of his lap but kept pressed into his side. He forgot how warm Kel was, and besides, being fed like that was nice. God, he was a bit needy. But if he was woken up before noon, he deserved to be spoiled. Well, maybe it's time I told you the truth, Kel. His face going somber as he looked directly into his eyes. Kel fidgeted until the blessed words left his mouth. I fucking love Orange Joe more than any other beverage. I only refuse to drink it so that you could have more. Kel may have put that gay awakening away for later, but now was in full damn swing. Childhood friends that we're reconnecting with after years? Check. Cute as hell, and discovering feelings that may have been there the entire time, but he was too much of a dipshit to notice? Check. Did he love the same thing as Kel did, to the point where not a single person on God's green earth that loved Orange Joe like him? Fucking check! He was gonna marry Sonny. He was gonna have a nice home and 2 kids named Orange and Joe. He was gonna get to his mid-40s with Sonny before they both died of caffeine-based arrhythmias. Kel? Earth to Kel? You there? Kel had been staring at him for a full 30 seconds without blinking. He was worried he was thinking too much about wizards again. Kel was gullible. Maybe he saw a cat and he was afraid that he was about to be sent to hell. Maybe he should have came up with something a bit more convincing. Those thoughts were quickly quelled as Kel spoke. I'm gonna marry you. There was no hint of a joke in his even tone. His eyes were gleaming with excitement. It took far too long for him to notice the blush on the pale boy's face, and far longer to rewind his excited mind to just what just poured out of his mouth. Oh god, why did he say that? Fuck it, lead into it. Or he would have if he wasn't interrupted by a soft voice. Shouldn't we go on a date first? Besides, why would I get a tux and far away? He was just muttering to himself as he looked down, tapping his fingers together. Kel just stared. Oh my god, it was still sunny. Quiet, nice, and easy to fluster. Relax, bud, I was just joking. He clapped Sonny on the back and almost knocked him over. Besides, it's been a while since we last hung out. Why don't we just chill today and see what happens? Sonny flushed even harder, his ears going red. Jesus, was he that easy to impress? I don't know if Kel was the same guy he knew as a kid. Besides, he didn't want to look around. Kel took his nod and just grinned. Now come on, let's finish one more slice before we head on. Sonny grinned, cracking open the Orange Joe first. He went to take a sip, arms shaking from the liquid waiter. Anticipation, Kel couldn't tell. And with one sip of the orange elixir, he was hooked. Kel watched in awe as he chugged it down. The same boy who was fighting him on every bite of pizza was now shotgunning pure orange-flavored sugar water. He was so proud. Until it started to disappear rapidly. Hey! Leave some for me! Mari grumbled. Well, the wisp of light that was representing her soul was being disturbed. Who would dare raise her from her rest? The wisp shook a bit as it was roused further. She fought to keep sleeping, valiantly at that, but she failed. With the sound of a chime, she was her full-bodied apprehension self again, grumbling under the covers of her bed. Oh, you. Miwu just sat at the foot of her bed and yowled again, clearly miffed. Well, that was odd. Miwu wasn't a loud cat normally, unless Sunny forgot to feed her. Damn it. Sonny, wake up? Sonny was not in his bed. Facing through her sheets, defeating the purpose for even having them, she hovered over his bed. It was messy and unmade. He could forget to feed Miwu on occasion, but he hated a messy bed. He even used to make hers. Oddity number 2 was the time. It was only 10 a.m. They both rose late, and Mari could be outside during the day, but it wore her out and she couldn't do as much. Sonny was a night owl, and his classes and therapy didn't take place until after 4 anyway. Well, let's get you fed then, greedy guts. You've only been asleep for like 4 hours. Floating out into the hall, oddity number 3 slapped her in the face. The front door was wide open. Oh, the possibilities just flooded her mind. That little shit had little to no regard for his own safety, and he was outside. Visions of him getting hit by buses, casually insulting bikers, or even being kidnapped by teenage hoodlums crossed her mind. He already almost got himself killed thrice just last week alone. How much trouble could he possibly get on his own out there? She floated down rapidly, checking for any bloodstreams at the bottom. Considering her own highly unlikely death, it was a good idea to check just in case. Miwu was fast on her heels, gesturing out the house. Well, that just confirmed things. Sonny had left the house for the first time in 4 years. Explicitly against her instructions, mind you. Oh, she was pissed. Then she felt it. That impulse that went off in the back of her mind. That pre-warning that Sonny was about to do something dumb or get hurt. There was no time to dawdle. Sonny was in danger. She floated out, wincing slightly at the feeling of the sun on her ghostly form. She floated in search of her brother, with Miwu close on her heels. Kel was a bit concerned, to say the least. They were just picking up a few things from Otherward before they continued on with their day. He just said they were for him, but honestly, they were for Sonny. Snack bars, sports drinks, and some fruit, too. The first aid kit was also added to the bill, just something for his peace of mind more than anything else. The food was more the focus. If Sonny was gonna get better, then he was gonna need to up his calorie count. Besides, today wouldn't be fun if he passed out on the sidewalk. Besides that, he needed to get his strength up and fight the black-furred devil. Kel would help, of course, if he knew anything. It's that a healer should stay behind the tank. Or was it the other way around? Man, he was bad at RPGs. Anyway, there was no doubt Sonny had the health pool of a slime. Wait, he's getting distracted again. No, he should be worried. Sonny disappeared after he all started getting jittery. He thought the 2 slices Sonny meant he would help him ease him into orange chill, but that was not the case. He was a seasoned veteran of the sweet, sweet orange mistress, and Sonny had just tasted temptation. To feel your own heartbeat constantly, shaking and containing enough energy to power a star. He missed those days, but he had built a tolerance. That's why he was currently running around like a madman, swatting at flies. The insane thing wasn't that he was passing out. Consuming a liter of orange show had that effect on a newbie. No, it was that he was nailing every single swing. With each mighty blow, a fly fell dead to the wayside, and Kel was in awe as he checked out. The clerk didn't even flinch as Sonny spun in place, ending in a lowered head crouch. The buzzing pests hovered for a moment, but went silent as they fell, dead. Does this kind of thing happen often? The woman manning the counter simply snapped her gum and nodded.
Yeah, this store is weird. I saw a ghost checking out in the self-checkout yesterday.
Kel's eyes had widened. Really? What did you do? The woman looked up with dead, retell-filled eyes, and in one glance he could feel the weight of the world, and the shrill cry of a Karen.
Let it shop. It paid, and it didn't try to talk to me. Win-win. Now are you doing paper or plastic?
He had defeated all other challengers. Nothing would stop him on his climb to the top. His unending mission to rid the other mart of all flying pests until they fell before him. He could not rest nor sleep for an instant, with $20 on the line. Only one remained, the big bad himself. Oh, you dare approach me? The wasp said, its mandibles flexing as it hovered in front of Sonny. Sonny just walked closer, hand in his pocket as he took a step forward. I can't swat the shit out of you if I don't get closer. The moment passed as they both let out a battle cry before clashing, beginning a battle for the ages.
Cal found Sunny out cold on the ground in front of the fish section. Both warriors seem to have lost the battle if the swelling spot on Sunny's cheek is anything to go by. Come on, Sunny, it's time to go. He just slapped Cal's hand away sleepily as he laughed. Okay then, I guess I can carry you again. With a grunt of effort, and some adjusting, Sunny was perched on his back with ease. It didn't take much prodding for Sunny to wrap his arms around Cal's neck. He felt his heartbeat quicken a bit as he held Sunny's legs. The shopping bag hung on his wrist. He could feel his warm breath as he nuzzled his neck, hugging a bit tighter. Sunny was always the one who needed touch, otherwise he would get moody. How had he survived that house for years? Well, he had his mom, but then again, now that he thought about it, he hadn't seen her car in ages. Or her groceries being delivered unless it was by means of magic? Thankfully, he was removed from the train of thought violently. The smaller Asian woman stood in front of him, looking at the snoozing boy with a grin. She slipped a 20 in Cal's hands and picked up the fly swatter off the floor. Returning to the fish department, she just put a finger to her smiling lips and shooed Cal. She was right, he had places to be. Sunny would flip when he woke up in the park, and by then, he would manage to get the heat out of his face. He went a bit stiff as the heat in his face went from campfire to inferno. It got no better as the fish lady giggled quietly, her eyes covering an understanding that made speaking unnecessary, and the unspoken teasing of a drunken aunt at a family reunion. Cal made his graceful exit, sneakers squeaking on the tile. He was not blushing, and he was not certainly grinning like a maniac. Lies and slander. All of it. Mari jolted up a bit as she looked around. That was not good. She waited for the follow-up, the feeling of dread that cemented that fuckery was afoot. But it never came as she slumped with a non-existent exhale. She had needed to take this break, but it quickly turned into a nap. Mew was next to her, sleeping in the shade of a tree at the end of the block. It wasn't too bad being out in the sun, but it did beat down on her much more strongly than she expected. He wasn't wandering any of the neighborhoods. Those were the first places she checked. Not that she figured he would wander that way, but considering the barbecue grill last night and his motivation when it came to food sometimes, well, she wouldn't be surprised if he hopped into a white candy van or in front of a car, or just put his hand in the garbage disposal. Oh god, he was gonna die out here without her. Okay, if she were Sunny, where would she be? He never wandered off like this, ever. He had been the perfect quiet brother. Well, up until the bit with the stairs, but that didn't count. Where could he be, Miwu? The cat provided no answers, just rolling onto her belly, enjoying the sunbeam. Aww, even as an older kitty, her little ball of evil was adorable. It would be a waste to use her limited energy to scratch cat tummy, but she needed a nice break after the shock her brother had given her. Besides, she was at the intersection. She could see down every street from here if you wandered. The purr Mew let out was so relaxing. She let out a yawn, enjoying the buzz of summer she always loved. The sound of the cicadas this time of year. Maybe she could just enjoy the sun once in her afterlife. She'd been working around the clock as her body began to fade. Her soul condensing into that little ball of light, the shade of oak was so warm and comfortable. She could almost feel the cool summer breeze on her skin. As she slipped off into sleep, she only had one thought. How much trouble could Sunny really get into?